Yeah, this game hooks you in the story. I feel like this is probably, to me, is one of the strongest aspects of the game as well. Story just gets you hooked in the beginning. You find out who you are. Not you don't really know who you are just yet, but you know you get your character. Yada yada yada. You're running around. Shit's already haywire because the Digimon from the digital world are invading, and you're like, all right, we gotta go figure this out. And then you finally catch a Digimon, go attack, and then you have this cool running. It's all in the trailer, so this part is not a spoiler, but you see in the demo getting chased by the Metal Greymon. That was such a cool aspect that they didn't touch again in the game. Like there was no like extra, I don't know how it's called, like extra stuff that's on the outside, not just in your Digimon fights, I guess if you want to say. Like that element was part of just running away from the Metal Greymon made you feel so like scared of it. It's like, yo, this thing's about to eat me.
That was cool. That was a really cool scene. And yeah, I don't think they ever do anything like that again.
Nah.
But oh man, it hooks you right away because it gives you kind of that in media res style of storytelling where shit has already happening and you got to figure it out right now. Exactly.
If you don't, you're SOL.
Exactly. And the story, I think, is good. I really enjoy a story where the setting feels like its own character. Okay. I love Final Fantasy VII because Midgar is a character. Okay. Midgar feels like it's its own thing. The digital world Iliad feels like its own character. And I love that. It feels like this world that is under extreme stress from these two factions, and you are thrust in the middle of it. And I really like Iliad. Interestingly enough, I thought the human world was very boring. Usually my favorite part of Digimon games are when you get to go to the real world and see how things are affecting the real world. And it's not really until the end of the game that you really see just how bad things are, except for in the beginning. So you have the beginning, then the time skip, and then everything's fine. It's like, oh, you got 8 years. Like,
wait. We gotta explain the time skip.
Go ahead.
So what happens for anyone who doesn't know, right? You after the Metal Greymon part, you find out what Digimon are. You go through like this is like your tutorial aspect of the game, right? Teaching you like how to catch Digimon, how to do everything. Your name's either Dan, Yuki. Yes, my name.
Don. It's Japanese. It's Don.
No, not F that. This is Dan Yuki, and I am immortalized in Digimon now. Audience.
Well, that's funny. My character's name was Gino, so I don't know. That's weird.
No. Directly, there's this card coming out with Dan Yuki on the name. You're not taking this away from me. Anyways, or if you choose the female version, I don't remember her name.
Canon, Kanan.
There you go, Canon. So anyways, you run through yada yada yada. You see Omnimon because you fight the Metal Greymon, right? And Omnimon comes out of nowhere, saves you, helps you out. Comes to find out, this is the exact same Omnimon that's the Royal Knights version from the Yggdrasil world instead. Which is what's the Royal Knights version digital world called?
Isn't it
just digital world? Not just Digi World.
That's a great question. Let's
look it up while we're doing it.
I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Anyways, so cool thing, boom, yada yada yada. So now you also meet this girl that you randomly supposedly know because she knows you. Her name is Inori. This is one of the main characters and whatnot. And you run through, and she's like, "Yo, what's up?" Like, yada yada yada. Like she knows you, and you're looking at her like, "Who the hell are you?" Right? But you just keep kind of like running along with it to find out like what's going on. Ooh, we got Tapmon and Hackmon. We got new Appmon, Digimon. Sorry.
Focus, Dan. Focus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I just checked. It says people are saying that it's literally just the digital world, whereas Homeros world is Iliad and Kunlun world is Shambhala.
Interesting. That's very interesting. So, anyways, so you move forward, and now you're about to get to this I guess the main point of the story, this point of time where things are about to blow up, and because of the explosion, mind you see a giant robot that's about to kill everything.
That shit's so
this
cool.
really cool thing. I wonder if we're gonna get like a card out of it, like eaters type of thing. I don't know. I doubt it.
We
But, man,
never
it's such a
actually
cool
fight that
looking-
thing though, right?
No, we did. Did we? No. Oh no, we don't, because by the way the story is convoluted. You're right.
A little bit.
A little bit. So, anyways, and then you see this giant fist out of nowhere from space time, just comes in and punches him, and then whatever happens causes this giant explosion known as the
Shinjuku
something-
Inferno.
Shinjuku Inferno. And because of that, it sends you back in time 8 years into the past. And that's what Gino was referring to when it comes to the time skip. It's not even like a time skip, it's a time
Warp,
I
guess. I don't know.
warp backwards. Like you time skip backwards. It's the most weirdest thing on how they describe it. But anyways, continue.
So yeah, okay. So you're launched back in time to 8 years, and basically your objective is to stop what you just saw happened. We have to stop the Shinjuku Inferno. We don't know why it's happening. The only thing we know is that it is tied to these digital life forms called Digimon. And so basically you end up chasing an egg that gets hatched and becomes an Elecmon. And you're chasing this around with your pal Inori, and you get wrapped
barely
up.
know, but she welcomed you with open arms and into their house. And the dad's like, yeah, it's all good.
There's some wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff going on because your character looks familiar for some reason, and you should know her or she should know you, but neither of you really do. And so sometimes some paradoxical things. It's going to happen in any time travel based story, right? But you end up getting yourself unraveled in this battle in the digital world. There's basically a civil war in the digital world between Titans and the not Titans. And
I guess, yeah, because it's not like they have an actual name. It's just,
exactly.
The good guys versus the bad guys.
Right. It seems very simple, but then about halfway through, the game flips it on its head. And it tells you, actually, all these bad guys you were fighting, they were originally the
not
good
really
guys. Exactly. And it's really cool. Really cool twist. And it's a twist that they pull on you twice, I think, where it's like you're not really sure what side you're fighting against. But
the thing is, like, the good Digimon don't really know this. Like, I think that's a point to talk about. A lot of these Digimons don't know what the real past really is. And so they're all going by off of what they were told. And so what they were told was that there's good and bad Digimon. Titans are bad, and we need to make sure we stop them. And coming to find out, it was all a big ploy of, spoiler, the final boss, which is Chronosmon. He was really the Chronos. He was really the reason why they made the hero and the villains, but they weren't really all villains. Elaborate that on more on that.
The whole point of the game, okay, is it's all Chronomon's creation, and he's basically split into two halves. One half which is stuck, basically residing over time, and then the other half which becomes, huge spoilers if you've not clicked off yet and you haven't finished the game, now is the time to do so. You and Aegyeomon. So
really just Aegyeomon.
Right. So you and Aegyeomon are essentially the same thing, split in half, and you're Jupitermon, right? But Aegyeomon, you guys both sort of learn to use your time powers because what Chronomon wants to do is to ultimately be destroyed so that he's no longer stuck in an infinite time of nothingness. And so by the end, you and Aegyeomon specifically, defeats him and takes his place. And it's really cool because the story pulls these twists on you over and over again, where it's like the Titans are actually not evil. Titamon, who is like your main nemesis for like a good third, maybe 2/3 of the game, is actually not really your enemy, and he actually ends up being on your side for a little bit. And near the end of the game, when you're escaping Junomon's temple,
Mm-hmm.
It's like taken over by all the angels, and you get to see what's the HM? Is it Hades mode? Junomon? What's the?
It's hysteric mode.
Hysteric mode. That shit's cool. That shit's cool.
Yeah, it is. So also on that point about you already went into the giant spoiler of the game. So the reason why you are created is because you guys are your main character. You're running through, basically you're running through every world trying to I can't even say collect the Olympus 12s, but it's kind of like that. You're trying to like round up all the Olympus 12 Digimon. You know, if anybody knows what that group is, the Olympus 12 Digimon is basically the Royal Knights version of Iliad. So they're technically the protectors of the world, but as of currently in the game, no one is the Olympus 12. No one is a group. There's no name for that or anything.
This is kind of like the
how they're created.
Right, the origin story of the Olympus 12.
Yeah, it's kind of. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but that's what it feels like. That's like they made this as the origin story for them, and you're going through. You're trying to help whatever the situation is in each spot. So they either like, what happens basically is something bad happens.
Yep.
And let's say they either die. So Neptunemon dies at one point because of poison. And you get thrown back in a time loop, in a sense, until you solve the issue of them not dying. And so that's what happens when you go through each world, each area. And that's kind of what happens until the point of they survive. And they're like, hey, we'll help out basically whenever the time is needed. So in between this, you are thrown into like a time rift with Inori and Agumon. And Inori falls through a time hole, I guess you could call it, and where she's like stuck
some
in
like
time, I guess.
Distortion in time where she's lost to time, and there's no amount of time travel that can get her back at this point.
Correct. And Agumon goes and follows. He tries to save her. He falls in it as well. Yada yada. And you're by yourself now. And here's the quick catch that like once you play the game, I think playing the game a second through will make you like appreciate these little moments of the game where they're like, oh hey Agumon, what's up? And you're like, what? What are you talking about? Like, cause I know playing it the first time, I was like, I was confused because I was like, why would they be calling Agumon? And then you start clicking small things that was like, oh, maybe they're either misremembering or like the time. So first my thought was their time got effed up because they got lost in the time hole and like things messed up or something. So we found out that's not the case. And you get to a point where I forget what happens at this point. You probably remember more. You get to like another time area where you find Agumon, and this is where you really find out what happens. And so Agumon gets stops time basically, trying to look for Nori. And within this time frame, he keeps making copies of himself to try to find her and try to stop whatever is happening. But one version of himself creates your character and then creates this whole like weird,
it's crazy
time, this timeline where you're the main character per se, and you're like have this whole thing created, this whole light created for you and whatnot, and you have like amnesia, so like you don't know.
Classic.
It's confirmed. I don't think it's confirmed, but I think it's kind of semi hinted at that you don't remember your past, but you just know like how you got to the point where you got to, which is very weird to explain. And that's where you find out that you are one and the same with Agumon. He is you, you are him, and stuff like that, which is it was such a mind-blowing moment for me, at least when that happened, because it was like you're attached to this character. It's you, Inori, and Agumon. It's you three running around trying to, save the world and stuff, and you find out you're not really you're him as well, which is kind of crazy when you think about it like that.
It was really cool. Another, like I said, the game throws a couple twists at you, and that's one of the big ones. And it's a really cool moment. Although, like, leading up to it, you're like, huh, I'm Agumon in some way, because there's so many moments where other characters are calling you. Yeah, other characters are calling you Agumon, or like I forget what his title is, like the Protector or the Chosen One or some shit, and they call you that, and it's like, it's like, wait a minute, I'm not Agumon, or am I? And it's pretty cool. It's a really cool moment. I will say one thing. The moment where the time rift happens and Agumon loses Inori and goes after her, for a good chunk of the game, you're without Agumon. And holy shit, do you feel that from a gameplay perspective?
You do.
Because now you have 6 people on your party instead of 7. Because Agumon mops house, man. He kicks ass.
Yeah, he definitely helps. I mean, I don't know about kicks ass, but he's good when he gets to reflect later on. But it felt like what it was for me, it was that sometimes that extra attack on him where it didn't affect my Digimon, and obviously you can heal him and have your own turns and stuff. He's an extra character, but not really, because he's part of like your group.
He's like a guest character, but you get to control him.
Exactly. And so that's what to me mattered when it felt like that those attacks that normally they probably would have attacked him a couple times and he would have tanked it like nothing. Right. And that was definitely my feeling on it. Especially once you get the life form, I think was the life form after that situation?
What life form? What do you mean?
His holy form.
Oh,
that was after, right?
Yeah, that's after. You don't get the holy form until after he comes back and joins you again. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's the what's that one attack that you can like make them attack you, but you take like you raise your speed to where they dodge the next attack. You basically evade it every time. Early game. Yeah.
Early game, that was a great move. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What were we gonna say? Yeah. So what else to it? I think it was the final boss. So you finally break the loop when you realize that you make Agumon realize, hey, we gotta move forward in life. Like, it is what it is. We lost Inori, but we can find her. But we gotta move forward as a group, and we gotta do this together. And that's when he like breaks the loop, and you go forward. You end up finding Inori, which spoiler, she doesn't die. I thought she died for a second. I definitely did. I was like, oh, damn, we just lost Inori.
There was no way. I didn't believe it for a second. No way. No shot.
Oh my god.
We're not killing the heroine. Come on.
Yeah. But then you go through the final area. Oh, we almost skipped one person. Plutomon. Plutomon is low key, like super important to the whole story, because he knows what happened and how the Titans are being like effed or whatever.
But he has no control over it.
Yeah. You kind of find out. So like all the Olympus 12s are all like, based off Greek and Roman mythology. And you kind of like, I didn't notice, at least for me personally, I didn't realize that he's technically like a 13th Olympus, because he is a, he's one of them basically. Right. He is basically Hades. So if anybody knows Greek mythology, Hades was banished from being one of the main gods, and he was the god of the underworld, yada yada yada. And so it was actually the same concept as Plutomon. And just like Hades a few times, he's actually clutch in helping, learn about what happened, and he actually helps you later on, which I thought was pretty cool to see when you're running through the gauntlet of those Digimons in the final area. One gripe I think we'll talk about real quick. You get side quests throughout the whole game, And then at the very end of the game, before the final boss happens, it's not even before the final boss. You get them before you go through you run through the final stretch of enemies, yada yada yada, and then the final boss. They dump on you like 20 side quests.
There's so many.
So many side quests. And mind you, because I did it. I beat the final boss twice because I was curious.
To see if there was something more after doing all the side quests.
Yeah. I ran through it just to see the story.
Yeah.
And then I did everything afterwards, and then rebeat it again. Like, it's important, but it's not important. Spoiler on this: if you do all the Royal Knights side quests and you round them all up, there is a difference in the scene when the Royal Knights come to help you.
Oh,
so
really?
So if you go and do the final boss and you fight Chronomon, the Royal Knights should come. If you don't round them up, it's just Omnimon that comes through and he does certain damage or something like that by himself. Because in the final fight, you fight Chronomon. Royal Knights come, all the Olympus 12 helps you, all that, which is really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So they come through. He comes through by himself. If you do all the side quests and you get them all, round them all up, they all come through. And I guess Gino's seen this version.
I did see this version. It's sick as fuck.
It's pretty badass to see all of them come through. Because when it's just Omnimon, it's like, all right, damn, Omnimon just out here just by himself soloing. And versus when you have all 13, they come through and fight, which is pretty cool.
That's funny. I didn't know that there was that only Omnimon shows up if you don't do it.
I'm pretty sure if you do like, let's say you do like Jesmon and Gankumon, it'll be just Omni, Jesmon, and Gankumon that shows up. It's just the way it seems like it feels when I did it twice.
Interesting.
It was pretty cool for sure. And I think it impacts his like health at that point. I think
probably
depending on how many of them you get for it. And then you beat Chronosmon. And then that's it. Let me stop.
Basically, Jupitermon has to erase the timeline where Aegiomon and Inori met, because that will stop this whole war, and someone has to take the place of Chronomon, because otherwise time is unrestricted and will do whatever, and that's not good. So Jupitermon lets you go, his basically your alter ego, to watch over Inori. So you get to live on, and you get to see the timeline where Inori and her brother haven't died because Digimon never entered the world, because he died in a Digimon related accident.
Yeah.
A Machinedramon related accident, actually.
True. Which is pretty cool. I thought a cute little ending they did for the game. And it also gave you a hint that she might remember Semi, because you got I think they run into each other. I think
the very last scene, she looks at you and Aegyomon's reflected in her eye instead of you.
Yeah. And so if we ever maybe get a continuation or something, I don't know if we will, but it would be pretty cool to see if it's that she actually remembers, or it's just like a thing for the players to know or something.
Right. Great game though. I thought I don't know. It's hard, man. I don't know if it will stick with me as hard as Cyber Sleuth. Like I feel like Cyber Sleuth's story, like, I don't know, really resonated with me a little harder than Time Strangers, but Time Stranger has such a rich world and so many moving characters in it that makes it feel a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? Like fleshed out than Cyber Sleuth, for example.
Yeah.
Like Cyber Sleuth I like because I really like Kyoko. I really like Cyber Sleuth, spoiler. I mean, if you probably know by this point, but Kyoko becoming Alphamon is such a cool moment. And like,
sure is, yeah.
This moment where you suddenly remember that, holy shit, you guys were all friends who went to the digital world, and now we have to go save Yugo. Like, really cool. I think it's a really cool moment. Whereas this whole thing of, psych, you're actually Aegyommon, still very cool, but it's harder for you to, I don't know, grasp that for me. I don't know. Like,
I think it's because
You're like a
Sleuth is
concept,
more-
not a person. Where in Cyber Sleuth, you're a
Yeah.
person. So
Yeah, exactly. You're also a person that becomes data as well, if you think about it like that.
that is true.
But,
Yes, it is a Digimon story, so you're going to become data at some
Yeah.
point.
yeah. No, but I would say the reason why also because it feels more like your traditional like Digimon, where it's a group. Like you, yes, in the beginning it's like you kind of like fight to be friends, kind of. Like, you know, Arata's a pain in the ass, and Yuko is too, and Yuko is not really there to the very end, and Nokia is the pain in the ass friend that's always with you, but you still, you know.
In Time
out with her and
Stranger,
whatnot.
it's you and Inori, and then all the other characters are Digimon.
Yeah,
pretty much.
basically. And yes, there's other people, obviously the important characters, so we didn't really talk about it, but there's the
Hiroko is pretty important. She shows up a lot.
Yep, and then the scientist, I forget her name right now.
Oh yeah,
She's important.
the blonde chick, Monica
Yeah,
Simmons.
I have-
Monica Simmons.
I think I have the cards. Yeah. No, it's not. I don't have her right now. Yeah, Hiroko is kind of important. Kind of important enough where they made a card. That's how you know she's kind of important.
Well, she's
right? Like,
well, also she's your likeness is based on her anime that she created. It's like this really cool moment where she's like, I made this
I know.
anime. She made the
Oh,
anime
yeah.
from the beginning of the game after you. You're the Agent Alpha. And
yes.
there's-
Yeah. Mhm.
And since you're launched to a different time plane, like that didn't happen in your time zone. And then when she sees you, she creates it in that time. It's so cool. It's like,
yeah.
there's so many cool like time things. I'm sure playing this game a second time, a third time, you'll still discover things that you didn't really catch. And realistically, we're probably getting some things wrong here. We're probably glossing over some important plot points. Feel free to yell at us in
we
the
100%
comments.
are. Yeah.
But
I was gonna like mention it, but we just kind of kept going with it. Like, also, I know we didn't talk about it, but all the Olympus 12 have their own like fleshed out character, which I like. Like Marukimon is really important to the story. Feels like, and same with honestly all of them in their own way. Outside of Sarismon just pops up at the very end,
yeah,
which
well,
is
no, because
understandable
Sarismon,
because of the story. Because of the
Sarismon
story,
is
it makes sense
Sirenon.
why she did. Yeah, I know. But I'm saying like it makes sense why she just pops up at the end, because Saruman goes through hell basically and dies, but it's recovering, and she digivolves into Saruman.
right.
But yeah, important characters also like the Marsmon and the what's the
Callusmon.
giant bear Callusmon. They're both the Bearmon.
The Bearmon brothers, baby.
The Bearmon brothers. They are very important to the story actually, because he becomes Marsmon, which is crazy. What's really cool is that also,
And he's got that chop.
yeah.
Marsmon's
What's really
sick.
cool also that we kind of didn't mention was that like the 8-year time skip from the past to the future is actually a huge difference in the digital world, right? Because in that same the Coliseum spot, what was it called? The machine area, something like that.
I think it was literally just called Factory Area.
Factory area, that's what it was called. Factory area in 8 years ago was legitimately a factory area where it was all like mainly machine style Digimon or cyborgs, and then it became 8 years later a giant coliseum.
A Coliseum
like
slash nightclub, basically.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy, right? And you see a lot of these differences in them, which is funny as hell to me.
That first time you
What
go
else?
back to Central Town after the Titans retake it is pretty crazy too.
Yeah, it is. Because there's a lot, as like we mentioned, we were talking about in the graphics section, that it's very like depressing. It's like destroyed. It's a mess. It's like gray and foggy too.